Matt, Chase, family, what?
You and me on the same side, together every single day and night. Always right here acting like some fools. We ain't do the crazy thing that we do.
Just trying to be by myself. They look at me more than anybody else. Think about when I'm getting out of school. They know there's no one I love as much as them. Family, family, Matt, Chase, family. They push my buttons and make me want to shut up. A family thing, Matt, Chase, family. Matt, Chase, family.
They push my body and make me wanna love it.
Family, Matt, Chase, family.
Hey, happy workday, weekday, whatever day it is for you. Today is Tuesday for me. It is right after New Year's, and so far I am having a really great New Year's. So, but it is time to get back to work. I had someone to bring in a jacket. They want to put their child's school logo on the jacket, so I'm going to be using the Baby Lock Alliance. You guys know that I got this machine over a year ago. I think it could be going into a good 2 years now that I got it. I think May or something like that. Anyways, I'm not the best, but I could teach someone the basics. I could teach, you know what? Let's just go, okay? Let's just go. We're going to be digitizing today, and I'm going to show you how to do basic digitizing. What about that? Let's go. First, I need to tell you guys that I use Embrilliance as an embroidery software. I have Essential, and I think that Essential ones for $139, and I also have Stitch Artist one, and I think that it runs for $169. Now, if I was smart, because remember we talked about how Embrilliance is not so expensive, but the only reason why it is not so expensive is because they break down the cost in levels, not layers, in levels. But when you buy certain parts of Embrilliance, it also includes the ones before. Like for instance, with Stitch Artist, if you buy one, yes, it's $169. But if you buy two, I think it's around like $3 something. But it includes 2 and 1. Right? Same difference. If you get 3, it's like $600, almost $700. But it includes 1, 2, and 3. So if I was smart, I probably would have purchased 3, because now I'm gonna have to purchase 3, and I don't want to spend a whole $700 to get it, but I need it, because once you learn how to digitize, you need more to create different stitches. Or for my instance, like, okay, I have the Baby Lock and the space is limited, so you can, if you buy Stitch Artist 3, you can cut your image in half, and it, which I rehoop anyway, and I will make a video on that if you guys want me to. But it would be an easier process to rehoop if I had Stitch Artist 3. So girl, do yourself a favor. Guy, do yourself a favor. If you're going to digitize, go ahead and buy that Stitch Artist 3 so that you don't have to eventually go down the line buying it again and buying a program that you already have. Because basically, when I buy a new Stitch Artist, it's gonna include 1. So that means that I paid for it twice. Or I don't know, maybe the company will work with me on something. I'm not sure how it works. I just know that that's what the deal is right now. Okay, but let's get into this video. The first thing I'm going to do is open up Embrilliance. Once you open up Embrilliance, if you have Stitch Artist 1, 2, or 3, then you will have this icon right here, which is the create button. You're gonna click on create, which will bring up this whole toolbar right here. To get my image, I'm going to click on image, and I'm gonna go to download and open it up. Here is my image right here. I'm going to just move it around. I do not want to digitize this really big, because here's the thing. The size that you digitize will determine the size that you can make something. If you digitize too big, then you won't be able to resize it to a pocket size. Or if you digitize it too small, then you won't be able to go to a really large hoop. So the size does matter when you're digitizing, okay? So I'm going to digitize in the hoop that I plan to stitch in, because that's just going to be a better situation for me going forward. Now you can resize it, it's just it'll be limited to like the size that you can work with. Once you have your image on here, you can do one or two things. You can draw it freehand with making your own notches, or you can use the wand. Alright, so you can see that I've started, because you see this green notch right here. That's my starting point. So I'm just going to go around here, clicking, that's my next notch. Once you get here, you're going to tap this right here to close what you open, and it's going to close it up. Now, the next thing is to do is determine how you want your notches to be. So when there are a circle, that means that they're going to be more curved. But some of our points we want to be straight. So we're going to right click on the notch itself. So inside that circle, we're going to right click, and we're going to change it to an L line, because that's going to make it more sharp. So what I like to do is I like to highlight as many as I can. So I'm going to click on one of my notches. I'm going to hold down Control, and I'm going to highlight as many of those notches that I want to be straight. I'm going to skip these right here, not those. I'm going to skip those right there, because obviously I want them to be curved. And I'm going to start right back here. I feel like I have enough right there. And I'm going to right click in this notch, and I'm going to change all those to, as you can see, it changed them to a square. And you can see that it made it more straight as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do all the rest of the ones that I want to be a straight pattern. And then we will start back. Now that I have all the notches I want to be straight and all the ones that I want to be curved, except right here, okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of this A. I'm going to highlight my pencil again, and I'm going to start right at the point, making sure I get all three of these corners right here. And now I'm going to change all of these notches, because I want them to be as sharp as straight. Anyways, okay, I have everything here. Right now I'm going to start moving some stuff around. Okay, so I'm going to move this out to curve that C a little more, move this up to be more straighter, that in. And I really think I need to move these out, because this is almost touching. So I want it to be, and this needs to come down. So I'm just really moving these notches to create the shape of this in a straight line. Okay, so now let's talk. We have our image all the way traced out. The next step is to create the next thing. So here we have an inside, which is called a field stitch. Now, we can do one or two things, right? We could do this thing all over again to digitize it again to create our field stitch, or we can copy and paste. And definitely I'm going to copy and paste, okay? So what I'm going to do here is over here, I'm going to right click it. I'm going to press copy, and then I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to press paste. So now you can see over here that I have it twice, and also there's a field stitch inside of here. So I'm going to do the same exact thing to my A. I'm going to right click it, press copy, and I'm going to right click it again, and I'm going to press paste. Now, what I would love to do here is to have that A together. So I'm going to do this right here. I'm going to drag it down here or pull this up. Now, I could have done something easier by right clicking it over here, and it says move earlier or move later, and that just makes it move on its own. So like you see, I have the A right here highlighted, and I can right click it and move it earlier, and it would have moved it down, or I can right click it and move it later, and then moves it right back here. Okay, the next step. So we have both of our images to do our satin stitch and our field stitch, okay? So now we're going to go back to our first one because that's the one we're going to work with first. And you have these buttons right here. So these are just different stitches, okay? This one right here is a field stitch. So that's what we're going to do for the inside of this C and this A. We're going to do a field. So we're going to click on that and type field, okay? Now we'll go to our next one. We're going to click on that one. Now it's that one that's highlighted. We're going to click satin border, okay? Now, we need this to be a different color because we do not want it, once it starts stitching out, to stitch all of it at one time, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to click on that, and we're going to click color right here. And we're just going to change it to anything. I'm going to change it to yellow. The color really doesn't matter here. I mean, it just doesn't. But if you would like to see the colors that it's supposed to be, we can do that. But, alright. So I feel like I'm going to move this up a tad bit because it's worrying me. I need to click on this one as well. When you move a notch up, you have to move both of them, okay? You can't just move one. And you have to be careful with making sure you move them at the same point, okay? Well, I moved it, but I'm seeing that the image actually goes down there, so I'm going to put it back, okay? All right, so I have it all stitched out. As you can see that I have a line here that to me is not on, so I'm going to click this notch here, and I'm going to move them up because I do not want any of my image not covered. And I'm going to go back and click on this one. Now we're going to do the A the same exact way. The only difference is with these two, they're both the same color in my image. I'm going to highlight them both, and I'm going to pick the color. And the color should be the same color, which I don't even know what color that is, but we're going to say the same color as this. What color is it? Let's go. So it is tangerine. So we need these to be tangerine as well. We're going to do remember we did a field stitch and a satin stitch. So the first time we're going to do the field stitch because the field stitch should go first always because the satin stitch cleans it all up, okay? So we're going to do the first one as our field stitch, and then we're going to go to the second one, and we're going to do a satin stitch. Now, I'm going to keep this stitch really thick because in the image, it looks really thick, and I'm going to pull up the image right here. And if it bothers you with the color, I can change the color. I think that we have it good. And so now I'm going to delete the image, and this is what we have ready to digitize. I mean, ready to stitch it out. I'm going to highlight everything right here. I'm going to select edit and select group, so that now when I try to move it around, it'll move all together as one. If you try to move it around without grouping it all together, you will have pieces moving. I always do a practice stitch before I stitch it onto my garment. I'm going to do that right now just to see if I like it. Now that I am done digitizing, I am going to go ahead and send this to my embroidery machine to save it on my D drive. That means that that's the file that's going to my embroidery machine, and I'm going to click save. I have my embroidery machine on and ready to go. I'm going to click into this folder, and as you can see, it is right here. Now it's going to show up, and it's just telling me here what all the hoops that I am able to hoop it under, size wise, and it's telling me the order. I like to see the minutes, so I'm going to click on the minutes, and it'll show me how long it's going to take each color to stitch out. I am now going to go ahead and load my colors up here so that I am able to just go ahead and load my needle one by one. Oh, also, I know that from the last video that I did a while ago, really long time ago, I did not have this cut. But it is kind of important to have that cut, especially when you're doing bags and things like that, so that you'll have an opening for it to hang down. It is very helpful. What I did was I had my husband to cut this table out, because he built this table, because, I mean, it just didn't make sense to get the little table that they had. So he built this table, and then I had him go back and cut this little set, which again is very helpful to have. I'm going to go ahead and load those colors, and then we will stitch out our practice. I have a random piece of fabric hooped here, and I'm just going to slide it into my embroidery machine. And make sure that it clicks, because I can't even tell you how many times I have done this before and it did not click, and then my thing was all over. So please, please, please make sure that it clicks when you put it in. I'm going to press set, embroider, and it's going to start here. Now you could do a trace out to see what's going to happen, but I don't. But I can show you what it does when you trace it out here. It just shows you where every place it is going to stitch out. I'm going to press lock, and right here I'm going to press start. This is the finished logo up against real school logo. I think that looks really good. So I am going to go ahead and put it on the jacket. Before I even hoop a garment, I always print it out so that I can put it on here to make sure it's the size that I want, and to make sure that I'm hooping in the exact spot that I want it to be in. And also on here, it will include a center point, so that when you hoop it and you put it in the right place, there is a dot that will shine on this hooping point, and it will be exactly where you want it to be. It's about where I want it to be on the jacket. Also going to pin it. I'm going to pin this before I put my stabilizer on, so that before I start stitching, I can take it out and it won't disturb my stabilizer. So I'm gonna put this back here, stabilizer on top, and I have cutaway. Oh, this is gonna be hard because it's so thick. Okay, it's on there and it is ready to go onto the machine. Now I have it on here. I'm going to press embroider, and you can see that the dot is right on there, but it is not in the spot that I want it to be. So I'm going to adjust it until that it is. I'm going to use these buttons right here to make it move up and down and back and side. Or you can take your hand and move it around as well, okay? But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the buttons because it is easier for me to get it exactly where I want it to be with the buttons. Spot that I want it to be in, as you guys can see, is right in the center point. And I am now going to release this and get it going. I would like to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you want. If you have a question and I know how to answer it, I will answer it for you. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.